Like Amos, he's Coach Quinn Hambright, the new head football coach at Charles Henderson High School, and he's the legendary.
Well, I coached a little bit at the middle school. Forest Lee.
Farley. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, we were tickled pink today to have the new head football coach at Charles Henderson High School on our show. And Coach, welcome to Troy, Alabama.
Yes, sir. I'm glad to be here.
Of course, we've got these helmets sitting up here, the president helmet that Charles Henderson wears, and one that Forrest Lee put together.
When I was at the middle school years ago, if I was going to come back the next year, I was going to do that design, but because it's orange and blue, changes things up a little bit.
It was just something to put in front of you this morning. Whether you like it, this is a good looking helmet, no question about it. The one that they use, Coach. I reckon if I had to say you hit the ground running, it would be the word to say, wouldn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I hit the ground like Usain Bolt. I mean, it was a sprint coming in Monday, so I'm excited. I got for the last 2 days, I've gotten some things done that I needed to get done, so I'm excited about this upcoming season.
You know, if and people know me and know Forrest, but we've been associated with Charles Henderson High School for, gosh,
This is
forever.
Michael calling in from Florida.
You're on Today in L.A. How you doing?
Hey, morning.
We've got Coach Hambright on our show, Mike. Quinn Hambright, the new head football coach at Charles Henderson High School.
Hey, Coach. Welcome to Troy.
Thank you so much, man. How are you?
I'm good. I'm down here at the beach, so I can't complain.
Oh, yeah, man. You're living the life right now.
Yeah.
It's not too bad. I'm seeing a lot of bicycles and people walking by my house. So maybe I'll get
Has spring break started yet down there?
It starts next week.
Next week, boy, there'll be a ton of folks down there next week. And Coach is going to be up here getting his football team ready, Mike.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, it's exciting times for Charles Henderson High School. I know they've been waiting for a new coach, and I was to know, Coach, starting out, how did all this happen? I mean, how did you get on Charles Henderson's radar? Kind of let everybody know kind of what happened as far as your interview process, and now you're the new head coach.
Definitely. Well, crazy thing is, I kind of reached out before the actual job was open, and she pretty much, the principal told me that it wasn't open at the time, so I was like, okay, perfect. So
no, go ahead.
Oh, okay. So initially, I saw it online and I applied for it. Called the school, popped up here. I don't request people do that, but I popped up here, uninvited. Say, hey, I'm Coach Hambright. I pretty much said I thought I was the guy for the job, and thankfully, and God's will, I got the job. But the interview process was very, very detailed. They asked a lot of questions, mostly about the kids going to college and what they want, education. How I feel about education, how I feel about study hall, how do I feel about and they asked me about the NCAA rules, NCAA clearinghouse, and I feel to be pretty thorough in that aspect. So I have a lot of college football players that are playing Division I, Division II, Division III, and junior college football right now. So I was very confident in that area of expertise. So everything just flows smoothly. Administration is wonderful here. Resources is wonderful here. So I felt like me being a country boy, me being a small town guy, Troy's not a small town by any means, but it's smaller than Montgomery, and I was very, very, very comfortable being here and the environment here, and it was just a good vibes all around.
From central of Haynesville.
Yes, definitely.
From where you've been to Troy, Alabama.
Right.
The Lord is. You're in His path.
I am.
The puzzle. It's just part of the puzzle of your life. It's going to be a great piece of your puzzle.
Definitely.
And of course, hey, this is your life, Quinn Hambright. Everybody's going to want to know about everything. Of course, is the new head coach and athletic director. So that's a big chore right there.
Definitely. I'm a sports fanatic, and I love kids. So that combination in itself, I want to make sure that all kids have exactly what they need to participate in the sports. I want to make sure all sports have everything they need so they can adequately compete in that sport. And most important, I want these kids to win.
You know, of course, baseball is going on right now, and you know, Charles Henderson for years has been a baseball school, and they take pride in that. But they take also pride in their off-season track program and their tennis program and their soccer program, and so you know, each kid's got something that they care about. It seems like, and they work hard to improve themselves and. Be a part of a great program.
Definitely.
Looks like you're going to Birmingham Saturday.
Yeah, the girls are like, I talked to some of the basketball girls, basketball players yesterday, girls basketball players yesterday, and they're funny. They're funny.
They play at 9 o'clock.
They play at 9. I was actually there in Montgomery. I left here early to go see them, and they are pretty doggone good, man. They
you know, it's just tradition, and Coach Jones has just done a tremendous job with the program.
Yeah,
of course, let's start from your you know, the beginning pretty much, and where you've been coaching and so forth. But you played in Haynesville, is that right?
Definitely. I played at Central Haynesville.
Always had good athletes.
Yeah, always had good athletes, but not a good football team. We was very good in basketball. We used to
y'all could beat anybody.
Yeah, we used to go up and down the state line beating everybody in basketball. But football, you know, I'm probably the only football player at that time that really wanted to play football. But I ended up being the first person in Lowndes County Public Schools history to play in the Alabama North-South All-Star game. And I left there, went to Millsaps, played under Mike Dubose.
And we were joking, you know, you were on the sidelines when they had that famous lateral, you know, everybody looks at that famous lateral that Stanford, the running through the band.
Yeah, running through the band, but
not too long afterwards, Millsaps was playing
Trinity,
then Trinity started lateraling, and
19 laterals,
which was unreal.
19
and went in there for a touchdown.
Yeah, and then we were co-conference champions. We finished that game strong, we would have been the sole conference champions. We was co-conference champions that year.
So on that play, I know in Division III you don't have instant replay. Was that all legit, or was that really not? Were some of those laterals not
forward? Were some of them forward laterals?
Forward laterals in that game.
The Millsaps major Emmy wants to say. You know, there were a couple of forward ones, but you know, there were a few that were kind of like the one in Tennessee Titans. Yeah, it was straight line, but you know, you really couldn't tell. So, but for the most part, it was pretty legit. The ball was on the ground a few times. We could have just fell off.
I mean, what did Coach Dubose say after that game? I can't imagine what that locker room was like.
You know, we're live right now, so. Yeah. But but there were you have to finish. You have to finish, man. I mean, his through all the, you know, what he said at the end, the ultimate goal of what he was trying to lay across us is we have to finish, and you can't give up. I mean, that's. And we learned our mistake at that moment. I mean, you have to freaking finish.
All right, how long were you actually under Mike Dubose? And I have great respect for Mike Dubose as a coach. And, of course, he was an excellent defensive coordinator at Alabama, and then the head coach at Alabama, and went on to, and then he's the head coach at Ops. But a very good football coach.
Yeah, he's definitely.
You had to have learned a lot.
Oh, definitely, man. His mind, his defensive mind was like none other, and I strive to be, you know, that good of a defensive coach. Like he can literally dissect any play at any time from the sideline, and it was the first time I've ever seen it, and that's how I try to coach in that aspect. You know, he was tough. He used to tell me all the time, Quinn, you get this right, I'm sending you back to Whitehall. In practice, he used to tell me all the time, and I'm thankful for that. But as a person outside, he was a totally different person. Real meek, mild-mannered, just a great person off the field. You know, and you know, and me going to college, I didn't know that different. That there were coaches were bipolar like that. It was, you know, and then
Exactly.
On that side.
Exactly.
So it was,
well, that's right.
And that's how it should be. That's how it should be. Tough love. But I was at Millsap for 2 years, or a year and a half, and I transferred to Huntington.
But you had to really learn a lot under Mike.
Oh, definitely. I learned a lot. Structure, discipline, how to work, work ethic, and it was football.
And then you went on to play for Mike Turk at Huntington, and of course Mike, the All-American, one of the greatest players of all time at Troy University.
Definitely.
And
he's top 5 all time. He's on the Mount Rushmore probably. I think that's only 4 players at Troy.
Yeah, that's my guy. I love Coach Turk.
And of course he's a first-class individual to be, and also to. If you play for Mike Turk, after you get through, a little football, I'll tell you.
Yeah, you know some football and structure.
Yeah.
You know structure, discipline, and football. I mean, that's 3 things that you're going to know when you leave when you leave Coach Turk.
Pull these.
Was Derek Ansley coaching at Huntington?
Pull that down right there.
Here, put it down.
No, let him do it. There we go. I just wanted
Coach Ansley.
To see you. There we go.
Yeah, he was my guy. Coach Ansley, he was there my first year there, and then he left to be a GA at Alabama the next year.
They're talking about Derek Ansley.
That's exciting to see how his career is. You go from Alabama, then you're at Kentucky, Tennessee.
Yeah.
You're with the Oakland Raiders, then you're defense coordinator at Tennessee. Now you're with the Los Angeles Chargers. He's
Definitely.
Quite a career.
Definitely, man. He works hard. I ask him all the time. He's that guy that he gives you gems, and but he still treats me like one of his players sometimes. I'll ask him a question, how he is. Like, so have you talked to, this coach in college? He was like, and I'll tell him, well, I talked to 1, 2, 3. He was like, have you talked to 4, 5, 6? I said, no. He's like, well, you're not trying to get better then.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, if you want to get to the next level, you need to know what everybody's doing around you. All these college coaches, you need to know what they're doing around you. And he's still on me like that. But I talked to him last week. I sent him a text message. He's about Charles Henderson. His text message was "Let's go" in capital letters and a whole bunch of exclamation marks.
Well, one thing I'm gonna do during this interview is say, "I believe." And boy, what 2 words would you think that you could use to build a program? Then I believe.
Definitely. That's the ultimate. That's the ultimate goal. Is to get every kid to believe. Definitely.
That's exactly right.
On the fence at the elementary school, a couple of coaches now, the principal, we have dream, believe, achieve.
Yeah,
it's an orange and blue colors on the fence.
Of course, at Huntington, of course, y'all had some good teams. Of course, Mike, I reckon you actually went to Huntington about the same time he was actually leaving Troy. Is that right? Or what year was that?
2009. He was already the head coach there. He was there. I think he's been the only head coach there.
That's right. Well,
so, 05, I think.
Yeah. Okay. 05.
Yeah. So I came there in 09.
And of course, has done a super job.
He has.
Coach, right now, of course, what you got to do is build a program from the inside out.
Definitely.
And not necessarily from the outside in, from the inside out, and you get your off-season program, and of course, that's one of your specialties is the off-season weight program and so forth.
Definitely. The initial year and every year and so forth, you have to build a 3-phase workout program. And that first phase is spring. With spring, you have to isolate those large muscle groups, make sure that they're flexible, make sure they stretch well, because we want to get bigger, faster, stronger in the spring. We just want to bulk up during the spring. The second phase will be summertime. Summertime, we pretty much working on muscular endurance, so we can play a full 4-quarter game, and of course, and conditioning for a 15-game season. And then during the season, it's about maintenance.
I like that number, 15-game season.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly right. Exactly right. I like that.
That's
That means if you go 15 games, you play for the championship.
Definitely.
But the key, and this has got to be a dream of for any coach, or especially high school coaches. is that you can actually start playing the second week. I mean, practicing the second week of June. Is that right?
Definitely.
I mean, that you can actually be on the field with them. It's really amazing.
Yeah, it is.
But it's going to be great for you at Charles Simpson because it's going to give you time to with the kids, enough time with the kids that you're going to pretty much know what you got and what you got to do.
Definitely. And then this off season right now is pretty much what we strive to do as far as player development every day. And we're going to start next week, of course. But player development, we can't have hands on them, but we can definitely work out in condition and do mat drills and stuff like that. Yeah. So I just want to see how they move around, see who's fast, who has those fast twitch muscles, who got that bounce that can jump, who's strong in the weight room as far as big daddies. Because with trenches is my baby. If you can't win a football game without them big daddies up front, there is no possible way you cannot win. You can't protect a quarterback and you can't get to the quarterback without those big daddies. So that's my ultimate goal right now, is to make sure those big daddies get stronger.
That's right.
Yeah, big daddies. Big
daddies. And of course, let me tell you this. All right, let's go back. Henderson of Troy. What is that? You had heard of Henderson of Troy all your life, hadn't you?
Yeah, definitely.
But I mean, tradition.
Definitely. It's even at Central Haynesville. When I was at Central Haynesville, and you hear Charles Henderson, and if we had to play him on the schedule, we knew basketball, of course, not football.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
we knew it was going to be tough. Yeah. Like we knew it was going to be tough. And I talked to the old, I forget his name, old basketball coach initially when I was here Friday. He was like, "Yeah, I remember."
Carl Hollis, Hollis. The great Carl Hollis,
Lee Hollis.
Yeah, Carl Lee Hollis, man. He's like, "Man, we went down there. Y'all came up here. Y'all beat us." I was like, he said it was one of the toughest games. He's like, y'all are one of the few teams that used to give us problems. And, we were always good in basketball.
Yeah.
But seeing Charles Henderson on the schedule, it's like, oh, my God. Now we have to bring our A game. It was, the tradition, and me not even knowing much about him, seeing the name, I knew that it was going to be tough.
Well, Coach Hollis will be a good sit down for you.
Oh, definitely.
Whenever you want to do it, I tell you, he's a legend in this part of the country, and
he's a good preacher too.
He sure is. He really is.
What about your coach?
What about growing up in Haynesville? Was I guess the greatest athlete ever out of Haynesville was Ben Wallace, the great player at Virginia Union, and then for the Pistons. Did he come around much?
Yes, Ben came around some. My dad back in the day, my Ben and my family were good friends. My aunt, my dad, all of them were good friends with Ben. So, but Ben comes around. He does what he can, and he does what they allow him to do pretty much. Yeah, he was a hard worker. He was always a hard worker.
Mike, now I might be. Where did Anthony Reed play high school basketball? You ever heard of the name Anthony Reed?
Anthony Reed.
You've always said Haynesville, I believe.
But did he go to Haynesville or did he go to Calhoun?
I'm not sure. He's Troy's
the great Anthony Reed came from somewhere over there.
Oh, that area, yeah.
But
Coach, my big question is: are you a good recruiter? At Charles Henderson, you got to be a good recruiter as well, because you got to make these kids stay at your school and play for you. Because we lost a lot of kids last year going to other schools. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, and anywhere I go, I tell people, even if they're our kids, even if they're zoned for our kids, you still have zone for our school. You still have to recruit those kids. And when I say recruit them, I mean they have to see your face. They have to see you at their football games. You have to know them by name, and you have to build rapport with those kids. If you don't build rapport with those kids, somebody else is going to kind of swoop in and take them, especially if you have never talked to them before. So, and I've already made my way over to the middle school. A few of the guys have added me on Twitter. They've been retweeting my stuff, so so that's a positive sign in the right direction, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, last year, Charles Henderson lost 11 players, that transferred out. So, I just know that that's important for you to get in there and let these guys, meet you and buy into what you're going to be preaching and coaching, and that's going to help the program tremendously.
Definitely. We actually had two that transferred in from Carver, but one ended up transferring back here to the private school or whatever the case may be. But Russaw transferred. The 10th grader, he's the stud. He was number 22.
Yeah, that's right. He left.
Carver. Hey, I actually coached him last year.
Yeah. You think you might get him to come back?
He's the kid that's got offers from 5 SEC schools as 10th grader, isn't he?
Yeah, he's tough, man. It took him a while to kind of get the system at Carver, but when he did, he was.
Whenever you left Huntington, what was your first coaching stop?
Prattville. I was initially I was going to school to be a physical therapist assistant, but that didn't work out. So Chad Henderson walked into Best Buy one day. It was like fate, and a guy knew him, introduced me to him, and that was my first job. I was an intern for Prattville that year. Cam Petway's junior year.
I tell you, the rest is history. You've been a football coach ever since.
Yes, sir.
And of course, I've learned under some great people, and it's God first.
Definitely.
And and then the rest falls in, family and falls in. But these kids, they right now they're in a position to say, hey, how about this coach? I mean, do I want to play with it for this coach? Do I believe in what he's teaching at Charles Henderson? A tradition at Charles Henderson. So many things fall in place now. Since they've got you as the head football coach.
Definitely.
And I was joking. I believe.
Yeah.
And that's Trojans. What's your feeling about that?
Well, with the I believe aspect of it, I love it. The kids, I think they're gonna buy in. I think, and the thing about it is something new. When something new comes in, something exciting, it gets everybody aroused to the point where we have to see what's going to happen next. And that's my biggest thing right now. I want everybody to continue to be on the edge of their seats and see what happens next. But I believe in myself. I believe in these kids, and at the end of the day, the ultimate goal is for them to believe in me and my philosophies.
What about your coaching staff? You have some guys that are coming with you, or some guys you've already been talking to that are going to come help you out at Charles Henderson?
Oh, definitely. I have a few guys that are. One in particular was already here, Coach Turner. He's my guy. I coached with him at Hillcrest in Evergreen, and he was there up until he came here to coach at Charles Henderson.
Is he at the elementary school teaching physical education?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Coach Turner. He was my linebackers coach when I was at Hillcrest, and I have another guy, thorough offensive mind. He's just around my age. Just technical and reminds me a lot of myself. Very thorough. He's going to do what's best for these kids.
What about the middle school? Have they hired? Don't they have an opening there?
Yeah, it's an opening there, and I have some quality candidates for there as well. And that's my biggest thing. I want somebody to run my philosophy and take care of. Middle school is my baby. Like it's like one of those things you can't hand your baby to anybody. So
that's where your recruiting starts,
right? And you have to have somebody there that's solidified in your philosophy. And if they in any way detour from your philosophy, then that's when the picking comes and people can come in and get them and bring them out.
Of course,
what's your coaching philosophy? Are you a 4-3 guy, 3-4? Are you a spread guy? Are you
run to the football,
the box?
Me personally, it's based off personnel who I have. I'm not the coach that runs my stuff and you're going to run it until it gets done right. If you don't have the personnel to run your philosophy, then you have to adjust to your kids, and that's the type of coach that I am. I'm an odd front guy. That's what I like. That's what I love. You can do so many things out of it. I'm semi-aggressive, depending on personnel, depending on who I have. I say swarm, and you swarm to the ball. Alignment, assignment, fly to the ball. It's not a see ball, hit ball. It's a read your keys. Trust your eyes. If it's there, you go. If not, then because a lot of teams like eye candy. They want to put this at. You look between the tackles if you're a linebacker and you read your keys. Guards pull, you flow with the guards. I don't care if you see somebody run full speed that way. Guards pull, you go with them. And that's my philosophy, is to teach the fundamentals of football, and 3-4, 4-3, 3-3 stack, 3-3-5, thorough in all of it. So depending on the personnel, and I've watched a lot of film that they did that last year. They ran a lot of Okie and then a few a little even front. So I'm going to try to keep it the same but different, very, very different. I want them to learn football. You know what a 0 is, know where a shade is, know where the 3 tech, know where the 5, know where the 2-eye is, and that's the issue with a lot of high school football kids. They don't know the fundamentals and techniques of football. So when they go to college, not have been a 3 tech, coach. Where's that? So that's my ultimate goal. And on offense, is a running gun. We got to be efficient, and we have to be disciplined on offense. Definitely.
But of course, you want to develop a running attack first,
Definitely.
more than anything. If you can, and then offensively, what can we look for?
Offensively, we want to run the ball. And like I said, depending on the type of backs, I know we lost, I think, 4 starting offensive linemen. So being being big and strong may not be our suit. So we have to adjust to those kids. I'm a power guy, buck sweep guy, counter guy. But if we have to run more buck sweep and outside zone because of the type of kids we have, then that's what we're going to do. If we got to run, if we can go downhill and pound on people and run power, lead, ISO, that's what we're going to do.
Yeah, exactly right. If you can run between the tackles, you've got the game won.
Definitely.
If you can run between the tackles, you've got the game.
And you can wear boom, wear them down.
That's what you call going downhill.
Definitely,
Exactly.
straight downhill.
I know you're going to be the head coach. Are you also going to call defensive plays?
Yes, sir.
Former defense coordinator.
I am. Yes.
Now, defensive, and the weight room and all that's got to be, a lot of rah, but
Definitely.
it's for a real purpose, though,
Yeah,
isn't it?
definitely. It's mentality. You have to have the mindset to dominate every single thing. What is that bar in front of you in the weight room, or whether it is your teammate in front of you at practice, or whether it's your opponent in front of you in the game. You have to be able to mentally get yourself prepared to dominate the person in front of you. And that's I'm a rah guy. I've always been the type that they used to call me hype man in high school, because it's just who I am. I bring the energy into the room.
Exactly. That's very important. You gotta. Hey, my philosophy is it's not how good you are. Is if you play hard.
Definitely.
And I'm talking about play hard every down.
Every single down. And
because you can be the greatest athlete in the world and not play hard, and you're not getting much out of him.
Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard every single time.
Yeah. Well, I tell you,
one thing you can never complain about at Charles Henderson is the facilities. You got a brand new practice field. You got an indoor practice field.
Mm-hmm.
You got Troy University Memorial Stadium to play in.
Right.
It's pretty amazing what you're stepping into, isn't it?
It is. It definitely is. When
Coach,
you
don't have to draw up out the field. I mean, what I'm saying, you don't
have to line the field except the practice field. That's all the one.
Yeah, and that I'm used to that type of stuff, man. But yeah, coming from places that don't have these things and you win, being given these things and expected to win is pretty much you're expected to win when you have facilities like that, because the resources are readily there. At Carver we had to practice in a gym if it rained.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much a walkthrough. So for the fact that we have that indoor facility that we can get inside run, quick passing game in on days that's storming, it's a blessing. It's definitely a blessing.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what.
In the past, did you come to Troy much to Troy University football games?
I did. I came to a few. Melvin Tyus was one of my old football players. He played safety number 12 last year.
He's a good player. He started 2 years.
Yeah, he was injury prone though, and I told him, man, you got to take care of yourself. Every time his starter get hurt, and he ends up being the starter, he ended up getting hurt, and then but the last 2 years he's been pretty healthy. But
does that mean you and Coach Poe go back a good ways as well?
Yeah, Coach Poe's my guy. That's my frat brother. So
we think the world of him. He is a great coach, and I'm glad he's back at Troy.
Oh,
too.
yeah, definitely. He's a great coach, even better person.
See, that's going to help you a lot too. You'll have him to talk to whenever you need it.
Definitely, man. And he called me Saturday. Can I speak with the new head football coach of Charles Henderson? I said, man, get off my phone, man.
Is there a schedule set already for next year?
I'm getting everything squared away. It's pretty much going to be the exact same schedule as last year. I just have to get the logistics in check to make sure, call and make sure that everything's pretty good. But you can probably expect the exact same schedule from last year.
And that's a tough one.
Yeah, it is.
There's no easy at Charles Henderson, a 5A strong 5A program. You're gonna run into some real good teams.
Oh, definitely.
And that's what you want.
Definitely. Know? I mean, in order to be the best, you have to beat the best. And
that's right.
You have to go through a gauntlet during the season in order to be prepared for the playoffs. If you have a cupcakes 10-game stretch and you're 10-0 or you're 9-1. And you meet that first round playoff team that's turned it up a little bit, and you think you made it, then you're going to lose. I mean, it's just point blank period. So you have to have some gauntlets in that schedule to be prepared for the playoffs.
I'll tell you this, and some people might get this wrong, but the first thing is you want these kids to have fun.
Definitely.
If it's not fun, if they don't want to be there, you're not going to get anything out of them. But first of all, let them have fun.
Definitely.
And then start doing some things that makes them special.
Definitely.
I mean, those kids need kids that wear this bonnet, and I call it a bonnet sometimes. Hey, it's got to be fun, and it's got to be something you can't wait to put this thing on.
Right, definitely. You being football to me, it's fun. Like I wake up every day and I don't work, and that's how much fun it is for me. And I don't expect kids to be so uptight to the fact that they can't have fun whether around me or on the football field. But when it's time to be about business, then we are about business. But we're gonna smack you in the mouth and we're gonna have fun doing it. And that's just my philosophy. That's how I operate.
As head coach and athletic director, do you have to teach class? Or maybe the last two classes I know are yours.
For the most part right now, I'm just getting settled in. So I don't have a class schedule yet, but yes, that period of athletics for the football team, is mine. We have a great strength and conditioning coach that's there, and I've been running strength and conditioning for the last 8 years since I've been coaching. Yeah. But the young guy we have in now, man, he's legit, and I told him what I want, yes sir, and he's going to make it happen.
Mike, those weight rooms love to jump up and down now, Mike. Your buddy at Alabama, he started all that stuff.
Rah.
But that's the way everybody wants to do it, man.
And that's how it is. You have to be intense in that weight room.
Yeah. You have all those red shirts and all those walk-ons and everything. You got to have them doing something, so they're down here jumping up and down the whole body.
Right. So yeah, it's you have to be
but again, that's having fun.
Definitely, you gotta have fun. Have that.
Coach, we saw I guess a little video the other day of your wife. You have 2 little kids. Tell us a little bit about your family.
Yeah, man, that's my why. Everybody asks, I ask kids, what's your why? Why do you do things? Why did you do that? Whether it's good or bad, And my why is my family. My wife, Kalan, who is a state worker, and she's been on the front lines working for us, and we thank you, baby, so much for working those COVID-19 cases and things like that. And my 2 beautiful daughters, Nadia and Noelle, they're so smart. Nadia actually has a recital. She's about to turn 4. She has a recital Saturday. So dancing. Yeah, she's a dancer, and she has a dancer recital Saturday. So I won't be able to make it to the basketball game, but I was there 2 days ago. I was there in Montgomery and to support the girls. But
and what's the age of the other?
The other one is 2. She just turned 2 in December. Yeah,
you and your wife met at Best Buy.
Yeah, we met at Best Buy, man. We I was training her. Yeah. And I was training her, man. I was training her to do some stuff. She had just came back from just graduated from Clark, Atlanta. Came back to work, and
where's her hometown?
She's from Montgomery. Yeah, she went to Lamp High School, one of the best schools in the nation, academically. So And that's my thing. My grandmother didn't let me play football if I had a C on my report card. And with her, graduating from Lamp, of course, how smart she is. So I tend to make that a staple with my football players, of course, as well as my daughters as well. So,
of course,
Right.
it's another thing that these kids need to realize, and I'm sure they do by now, is that hey, they've got to do the work in the classroom, or all this great ability they've got in football is going to go down the drain.
Definitely, and that's why it's called student athlete with a capital student. If it was athlete student, then we'd focus on sports and say forget the classroom. But that's why it's called student athlete, because you have to be a student first. And a lot of these kids don't get those big time scholarships because of grades. And if you take care of business, 9th, 10th, and 11th grade, you can cruise through your senior year, get those scholarships. Mac Wilson, I coached him at Carver. He had a 3.3 his 10th grade year. He was 6'2", 215 pounds. Who wouldn't offer that kid? They offered that kid based off how he looked and his grades. And he was just so happy to be an excellent freaking football player too. Yeah. So it was easy to offer him because he qualified in the 10th grade, and the kids have to realize that,
And of course,
Mac Wilson's the guy that a lot of people said went too early. And when I was junior year and got drafted in the 5th round, and shoot, he's starting for the Cleveland Browns now.
Definitely,
he's just been an unbelievable player.
Yeah, he's a freak of nature, man. Yeah, he's a freak of nature. He can jump out. He's 250 pounds and can windmill. Like his athleticism is like none other for his size. Yeah. I mean, he is athletic.
I bet you can get Mac to come visit your team sometime too, can't you?
Yeah, Sean Dion Hamilton. I actually, I was going to screenshot it, but I'm not going to do it. Dion congratulated me on Instagram and said, in the next few years, I'm going to be your defensive coordinator, right? And I was like, it is your job. It is your Dion.
Come on down.
Make sure you're tuned. It's your job, buddy. It's your job, buddy. Dion's mind was, he was a coach in high school. Yeah. The reason why he's successful and is going to continue to be successful is because we literally didn't have to do anything. I'd have my notes as assistant D coordinator at Carver, my initial year there, and he'd come coach. I saw when this receiver's on the ball, he's running the corner. When they come trips, 3x1 with that backside back and up, he's going to run the wheel. The outside receiver's going to run the slant. This is a high school senior, and I'm like, how you like? I'm reading my stuff, and I'm like, you came to my house last night, but man, like, how do you know these things? And he studies
the kind of player he was. He could make every tackle.
Every single tackle.
He could run the football, make every tackle.
Definitely, and he was valedictorian. So that helps as well.
That's pretty crazy to think too. Your linebackers, one plays for the Browns, one plays for the Redskins. That's pretty nuts.
Yeah, and he just got picked up. He just got picked up by Detroit Lions. Dion did.
Okay.
Yeah, he just got picked up by the
Lions. Yeah, when he blew out his knee, boy, that broke my heart.
Yeah, man.
I'm so glad he made it back.
Yeah, and they still voted him team captain too. So that just shows his character and his work ethic to be a team captain and not even play most of the season.
Well, you can put these kind of kids, players, former players, and friends of yours around these kids. That right there can motivate a child. A young man overnight. I've seen them many as a coach. Many times I've seen a guy at practice just turn his whole career around in one practice, having a great practice, having coaches pick them up. Well, they want that all the time, and they develop them great players.
Right, definitely, and you need that. You need every aspect of that, man. And as a coach, as a player, you got to have that grit, and you got to be able to pick each other up. Now, I'm all about the breakdown and the build-up. You're gonna get that tough love. I'm gonna jump down your throat if you do something wrong. But in that aspect, when you do something right, I'm gonna be the first probably to run. I'm probably gonna be the first to run on the field if you catch an interception to jump with you because that's just who I am. When you do bad, you're going to get that. But when you do good, you're going to get that plus more.
Exactly.
And that's just how I operate.
And as a former linebacker coach, man, some of the licks, some of the great licks, I'm just in there picking them up. Now you get 15-yard penalties and you lose the guy for the rest of the game.
Yeah, you blow.
I mean, it's the craziest thing in the world. The way the rules have.
My dad doesn't like targeting that much.
Well, I mean, what I'm saying is, these are guys that in the past, when I was coaching, you pick them up and just hug them. That's right. Making a leg like that, you know.
Right, man, and it's you blow on them, man. You thump them. That penalty, man. So you have to actually adjust your coaching habits at your practice and adjust your teaching on how you tackle and you act, and even the crackback block. You have to be. It has to be open hand. Push. You can't go in with your head and shoulder anymore. It's gonna be a 15-yard penalty. So that's how we had 2 interceptions last year got called back because of a crackback. But it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't even bad. It was like the kid. I mean, it has to be open hand. It's certain rules that you have to adjust to as coaches, and you have to teach that at practice. Otherwise, kids are gonna crack back, think they did something well. 15-yard penalty, touchdown gets back. It might cost a game. So you have to discipline that in practice.
Of course,
Coach, I know you're at Carver last year. Of course, we're dealing with the horrible situation with COVID, global pandemic. I mean, what is still going on as far as rules in the hospital? As far as you guys want to wear masks? How does that work out right now going forward?
Yeah, definitely nothing's changed because as far as with the mask and practicing and we haven't gotten any specifics on the rules right now on how they want us to regulate spring and summer or whatever the case may be. I'm pretty sure that's coming soon. Athletic Association is really good on that. But for the most part, when they work out, we have so much space that they can socially distance. We spray everything afterwards, spray before, and I've witnessed the guy, our strength conditioning coach, do it. And when we're in there, we're just going to try to utilize all of our resources so that we have enough space to get everything we need done.
Yeah. Of course, your spring sports are important, so you really don't start spring practice until after the spring sports.
After track, pretty much.
Are through, and then you catch them after, say, a week vacation. You got them for the rest of the
I bring them back
from June on up through game day.
Definitely, and that's the ultimate goal is to have kids that play multiple sports. College coaches love that, especially football players that run track and throw in track and field. I recommend every single kid to not try to isolate themselves into one sport. Always help yourself out and make yourself more marketable. You can invest and have your main sport, but make yourself marketable in the aspect of you don't have to play football, run track if you're a basketball player.
Right.
I mean, I want you to play football, but ultimately you want to make yourself marketable and you want to continuously do things to prove your athleticism to everybody.
Exactly. Well, I tell you, we're excited, ladies and gentlemen, to have Quinn Hambright. That's her name, Hambright.
Yes, sir.
And of course, I'm sure every kid is here. Already had met you pretty much. Have you had a meeting with your teams?
I have. We had one Monday. I met with the team Monday. Met with the middle school, and I met with the football players on Monday, my first day here. So
were you impressed? I
was, man. We're going to be young. We're going to be athletic, and that's what I like. I like being young. It's like a dry sponge. They can absorb all of you, and older guys they have their own. And not everybody, but they have their own habits that they already had, whether good or bad, that you kind of got to squeeze out of them and then make it. Like I said, I treat them like a dry sponge. Those young guys, they're like a dry sponge, ready to learn, soak up every single thing I have. And, with those older guys, they set up in their ways, whether good, bad, ugly, great. So, and then you kind of have to squeeze that little bit of bad out of them and then let them soak up the good that you have.
Did you have pretty good numbers coming into your meeting, or did you talk to all boys?
Definitely. I had pretty good numbers. Mrs. Faison said that it was about 15 to 20 that didn't show up because they weren't on campus.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it was about 65 total from the middle school to high school, and then the ones that didn't show up. Yeah. I didn't count those, but it was a total of 65
Plus you got
people.
sixth graders at the elementary school.
Right.
That will be seventh graders next year.
Definitely.
And of course, as
Coach, at Troy Cable, you're in a unique situation. The guy standing or sitting next to you has called games for about 35 years, Charles Henderson games, on television. And Dad also does coaches shows on Wednesday night. Kind of unique that all these kids' games are on television. They can watch themselves play.
Definitely, man, and that's big. That's big for those kids. They want to see themselves, and although digital imaging, that those highlight videos, those hype videos for the season, they love that type of stuff. And when they can go back and see themselves, it makes them feel good. And having the community to recognize them in stores and things helps as well. If they say, hey, you number 11? Yeah, yes, sir. Man, that was a heck of a catch you made in the end zone last week, man. Keep up the good work. That motivates them for Sunday and Monday morning that, they're watching. They're invested. Let me work harder in practice. And that's that building that culture. The administration here is wonderful. And with the coaches being on board with the culture, with the players being on board with the culture, with the fan base, the boosters, everybody's being on board with the culture, it helps.
Exactly, and that's why I'm all for at least one day during the week the football players wear a jersey, because all they see, people see on the field is the number.
Yeah.
They're faced with the number.
Yeah, exactly. So when they identify that face with the number and then start learning their names, and I tell them, I joke with them. I told a kid yesterday, man, I said, you got to get stronger, man. No, it was a basketball player. I said, you want to play football? I was like, no. I said, well, you got to get bigger. I said, I said, I'm going to call you touchdown. 10-yard line, jump ball, go get it. And I said,
hey, Shorts has got to be a pretty good athlete. This kid, this great basketball player named Shorts.
He
needs to be introduced to football.
Football, right.
But now, you can't argue with a coach, a basketball coach, trying to keep his basketball players intact. But hey, some great athletes on that basketball team. And they probably don't realize how good they might be in football too.
Yeah, definitely.
And how much they would love to help your program.
Definitely. I told the kid, I said, man, you score some touchdowns, you get your name in the newspaper, you get your girlfriend. That's how it operates. But no,
I always say there's 5,000 people gonna watch you in football.
Right. And then I got kid say he played power forward, he's 6'1". I said, how many 6'1" power forwards do you know that are playing college basketball? None. How many 6'1" receivers and how many 6'1" DBs get Division I, Division II scholarships? A lot. So I'm not telling you to transition, but I'm telling you to think about it, man. You got 10 scholarships for basketball. You got 52 for football. What are the odds? What are the odds of you getting a scholarship in football in relation to basketball? So that's my pitch.
And it's not anything at all wrong with being well-rounded.
Right.
Hey, that guard Shorts might make you a great quarterback or wide receiver, and enhance his own career, like you were talking about earlier.
Definitely makes him tougher.
I was thinking more about that 6'7" kid that has the 7-foot wingspan, putting him at tight end and for jump ball.
Jump ball, go get it. I mean that's look. I mean that's just the nature of the beast. There was a few kids at Carver that were basketball players and were very good basketball players that are playing college football right now.
Coach, I hate to say this because I know you've heard it many, many times. Coach, you got to have a great athlete at quarterback.
Definitely. You have to have.
I hate to say that. It is so important to have a great athlete at quarterback.
Definitely. Somebody that can see the field, somebody that can make great decisions, somebody that can run away from people, and somebody that can make them throw. You need an all-around player at quarterback, and somebody that can maintain and handle an offense and keep and sustain an 8 to 12 play drive. And that's my biggest. If you keep the defense off the field, you win the game.
So right now, you don't know who might be the quarterback. It might be you. I mean, great. It's going to take a great athlete, and there are plenty of great athletes over there right now.
There's a lot of them, man. I wasn't shocked, but I was happy. I would say that, because I knew Charles Henderson had a lot of great athletes, but I was happy to see the type of athletes that we have, and a few kids that actually didn't even play last year that that you're going to see.
And there are a lot of people out there that when they play that alma mater, when they play that fight song, hey, you got chill bumps running down both arms.
Yeah.
Hey, that's the kind of fans we want. We got to bring back our Trojan fans back to the ball games. So hey, and build around that.
Definitely. Come out, support. We need people. We need time. I mean, spend your time with these kids, man. Love on them. If we need volunteers, we'd be more than happy for you all to assist and everything like that. So we have a parent meeting today, actually, at 5:30. So I'm publicly announcing that. So even if you're not a parent and you just want to come out,
where will it be at, Coach?
It'll be in the cafeteria.
At the cafeteria.
In the cafeteria at 5:30.
For all the parents.
For all the parents, uncles, aunts, brothers, sisters, cousins.
And they promised you not to throw any chairs, anything like how Buddy did that. This was a private joke.
To raise some money for your program, just call the Mac Wilson and Sean Dion Hamilton and have a football camp. You can probably get
boy.
500 kids.
Oh yeah, they'll show up for sure. Those are my guys. I love them to death, man. Mac just had a birthday last week, and so all that money he spent on his birthday, I should have told him to give to us.
Well, Coach, I know you got to get back to school, and we appreciate them letting us borrow you this morning and letting everybody. First of all, I'm gonna leave it with you, Coach. Speak to your players and speak to the fans about you.
All right. Well, one thing need to know about me is that I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that your kids are successful. Parents and kids, I want to make sure that you succeed not only in the classroom, but most importantly on that football field, so that you can build yourself as a man. Because at the end of the day, you have to understand that if you show up late for practice, you're going to show up late for your job. And my thing is, I'm trying to build high character young men, and that's the ultimate goal. If you tell a player to tell me that you're going to miss practice, then that's a no call, no show. That is you're not telling me. It's all self-accountability and things like that. And I'm going to hold you accountable. I'm going to be there by your side. I'm going to be hard on you, but most importantly, I'm going to love on you, and I'm going to make sure that you do everything the right way. Parents, please support your kids. Make sure you uplift your kids. Make sure that you be there for your kids. And fan base, let's pack the stadiums. Let's pack that crowd. And cheer on those kids. What the good, the bad, the ugly, the great. It's going to be all of that. So in a collective effort, we can build this culture to where it needs to be, to where it was. We're 8 years removed from the state championship run. All right, that's not long at all. So I feel that we can get excited for some football in Charles Henderson, and I expect you to get excited. And I expect you to expect good things out of me. Hold me accountable. Hold me accountable for everything that I do, everything that I say, and I hold you accountable in the aspect of being there for those kids. They need you.
If I had a piece of paper,
let's go practice right now.
let me just say here, the word I was looking for the whole time you were talking, I was writing down accountability.
Yes, sir.
Because hey, if you can't be accountable, we don't have anything.
Definitely. The best ability is accountability. The best ability, I don't care what type of ability you have, you can be. But if you don't have accountability, you pretty much have nothing. So you build on your accountability, and what'd you say?
I believe. No question about it.
If you believe, then you can achieve. I mean, that's that old school saying.
The electricity is here.
Exactly right. We can't wait, Coach.
Yes,
can't wait. We'll be back.
Thanks for coming on, Coach.
Yes, sir. No problem. I appreciate you all.
To Today in LA right after this. Thank you, Coach Quinn Hambright. We're ready to go, Trojans, right now.
Our history is woven with the stories of those we serve. At Max, we've been a good community partner for 65 years. Max is dedicated to providing dependable financial services and to supporting our communities. We volunteer our time and share our resources. As a credit union, we've returned millions of dollars back to our members, local nonprofits, and small businesses. Max is honored to be a part of your story. We look forward to serving you for years to come.
Hi, Sandy. I'm right here. Come on in.
Eddie, I'm right here. Hello, Miss Mary. I'm right here. I'm right here.
Since 1969, we've been right here because at Troy Regional Medical Center, we take these words to heart.
I'm right here.
Thank you. Remarkable people, remarkable care.
Here at Bill Jackson Chevrolet in Troy, we've been doing business the right way for 31 years. But don't take our word for it. We feel our customers express it the best.
Been honest in everything we've discussed with them.
When they say Jackson Satisfaction, they really mean it.
The Jackson satisfaction is real.
At the Piggly Wiggly, we proudly support our local farmers and bring you the best they have to offer, all at cost plus 10%. When you shop local, you reinvest in your community. Remember, buy local, shop local. Piggly Wiggly, local since forever.
Even if you're fast and you can't catch, we don't know what position
Exactly right. Exactly right. Hey, Coach, it's much time.
Our history is woven with the stories of those we serve. At Max, we've been a good community partner for 65 years. Max is dedicated to providing dependable financial services and to supporting our communities. We volunteer our time and share our resources. As a credit union, we've returned millions of dollars back to our members, local nonprofits, and small businesses. Max is honored to be a part of your story. We look forward to serving you for years to come.
Hi, Sandy. I'm right here. Come on in.
Baby, I'm right here. Hello, Miss Mary. I'm right here. I'm right here.
Since 1969, we've been right here because at Troy Regional Medical Center, we take these words to heart.
I'm right here.
Thank you. Remarkable people, remarkable care.
Here at Bill Jackson Chevrolet in Troy, we've been doing business the right way for 31 years. But don't take our word for it. We feel our customers express it the best.
Been honest in everything we've discussed with them.
When they say Jackson Satisfaction, they really mean it.
The Jackson satisfaction is real.
At the Piggly Wiggly, we proudly support our local farmers and bring you the best they have to offer, all at cost plus 10%. When you shop local, you reinvest in your community. Remember, buy local, shop local. Piggly Wiggly, local since forever.
We're live.
Back to our show, ladies and gentlemen, brought to you by Town and Country Flooring. Our good friend Scott and Lana Hardley, they've got you covered. And, of course, Circle Insurance in Ozark. Sam, Judah, my good friends, we appreciate you so very much. Ladies and gentlemen, back to our show, and a little guy was a little fired up, wasn't he?
We're excited. I've got children in the public school system. I've got a 10th grade boy, 9th grade girl at the high school, so really excited. One of my cousins played football with Coach Hambright, and we have that.
Oh, really?
So.
That's really something. Now tell us about your husband, who's a pastor of the church.
Sure. I'm Jen Holbert. I'm originally from Knoxville, Tennessee. My husband is Rick Holbert, the pastor at First Presbyterian. We moved here about a year and a half ago. Quickly got involved in the community with 4 children. Have 2 at the high school, 1 at the middle school, and then 1 at Covenant Christian School. Covenant is our church school, which I would love to share about in a little bit. But Rick, has pastored for 18 years. This is his 4th church. And as I tell people, Lord willing, this is the last train on the train stop of ministry. We love it here. It's a very loving church and a wonderful community. So.
Yeah, well, I agree with you. So well. Of course.
So do y'all still live in the house next to the church across from the baseball field?
We do. Yes. It's funny. I am very extroverted and I love people. And it's fun. One of my children is a lot like me. So when I first got to tell her, people tailgate in our yard for football games, she got really, really excited when we were moving here. So sometimes I miss a neighborhood, but there's always people walking by. But yeah, great location to have 4 children as well. We are close to everything. So it's been really, really fun.
Exactly. Right.
And I assume you're a Tennessee fan growing up in Knoxville?
I am a Vol fan. We have seen better days. Yes. But I was there when Peyton Manning was there. I remember when we were really good. And the college students in our church all mentioned something about Tennessee football, and their whole life span, we've not been very good.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Well, Coach Pruitt's wife is from Banks.
Oh, is she really? Wow.
Well, he's not around anymore, though.
Yeah.
Well, we're still claim them though.
Yeah, I know it. Yeah.
Huge Tennessee fans in my family. We love Tennessee
Oh,
football.
Rocky Top, you'll always be home sweet home to me. Good old Rocky Top, Rocky Top, Tennessee. Rocky Top, Tennessee. Rocky Top, Tennessee.
He's got a lot better voice than y'all.
Now, Shebang Clogging Company, that's their ending song, is they clogged a Rocky Top. My daughter clogged for 12 years.
Because they are Tennessee fans?
Well,
Or
no,
they
Shebang, that's the
they just love that
they
song.
love that
It's
song
such a
to
good
clog
clogging
to.
song.
That's
Yeah.
their
Rocky,
that's their
that's the best
ending
song in the
finale.
world. That's right.
They all
Yeah.
clogged to that song on stage.
My grandmother was the biggest Tennessee fan. She's passed away now with the Lord, but biggest Tennessee fan in our family. And for years, she got box seat tickets because she was divorced later in life, but had a friend that was a widow, and her husband was in the athletic department. And boy, when her friend passed away, it was very sad, and then she was very sad to not be able to go to the football games.
The people that live right across the street from me go to your church. And
Who is that?
Emery?
What?
Emery Ellis?
No, Emery is
Emery-
right next door to us.
Is Emery-
You know,
Yeah, I know
Emery, yeah.
exactly where you live.
Yeah.
Are you, if you face their house, are you on the right or
I'm
the left?
on the right.
Okay.
With the,
Well, he's one of our
No,
elders.
you're not on the right. You're on the left.
well,
Like
I'm,
looking at their house, he's on the left. Okay.
Well, I'm the first house on the left going up the
Where's
street.
first house on the left on Crow Hill?
Yeah, okay. Well, we don't need to let everybody know. Everybody's not like me.
He's got a rock wall and a Doberman picture. Come on.
Of course,
Well,
Rick.
he does have a Troy Cable security system.
Yeah, that's right. No question about that. Of course, we love our neighborhood, and you can talk, say good things about it as much as you want. Of course, what we had just a while ago, big heads up guy, Quinn Hambright, the new football coach at Charles Henderson. It all begins with the Lord, Him first.
Yes.
And then everything else comes walks right in, And of course, you got the Lord and then family, and I'm sure that's what y'all preach at First Presbyterian.
Yes, for sure. I couldn't agree more. And that's when we heard about Troy. I didn't know much about Troy. I knew it was a college town. We first got a phone call. The church was interested a couple of Aprils ago. It's such an opportunity here. Such an opportunity to share the love of Christ with so many different people. One thing I love about Troy, I love that it has the small town charm. I love the diversity. I love the college and what that brings. The public schools have been great. We've been very, very happy with there. It's been good, but I totally agree with you.
What about Covenant Christian?
Yeah.
What are the grade levels there?
Okay, we starts with K3. Some people don't know we start that young, and it goes all the way through 6th grade.
Okay.
We've been around for 37 years. I'm now the outreach coordinator. This is a new position this year. So one thing I'm doing is getting out in the community, just telling people about us. We are a wonderful Christian school. I love Christian education. That was kind of the route we did. I actually homeschooled 7 years. People think I'm crazy, but it was a blessing. Then we put ours in Christian school in Mississippi, and then first time we've done public was moving to Troy a year and a half ago.
Okay.
But to have the private Christian school education, giving them that foundation, as you were talking about, giving them a focus on the Lord with their education, then whether you send them to public or to Pike Lib or other places,
Yes, ma'am.
they're going as a 7th grader with that foundation.
Exactly.
And that's what I can talk to anyone about as a mom raising kids today.
Then they can sprinkle that love and Christian base with their peers wherever they go. Yeah. They've got a good foundation.
And they will really.
So
go ahead.
where are y'all located in Troy?
First Presbyterian Church.
Several years.
Sure. So if you know where First Presbyterian Church is, we're kind of right behind there on University Avenue. So it's just it's the building right there. It actually has the same address as the church, 105 South George Wallace, but it's located on University Avenue. So we're very, very close to everything.
Yeah, of course it's great church. Some of my best friends, grew up in that church, and it's a solid foundation in serving the Lord.
Thank you very much. Covenant Christian School is First Presbyterian's school, so it's a ministry of our church. We have kids, obviously not from our church. We get kids all over the community. We've had a lot of calls recently. We have a brand new website. Check us out. Just Google Covenant Christian Troy, and it'll come up. It's excellent. And then we've gotten a lot of calls, too, because when the public schools with COVID brought them all home for 3 weeks, we were able to stay in school. So all the mamas working, struggling, I was getting a lot of messages. Are you taking kids right now? We are careful with the whole COVID thing, but I think have been able to be a lot more laid back than other places, and I think that's been a real draw too. We've got small classrooms, really, really great teachers. We have a wonderful playground. Kids are outside twice a day running around, which is very needed for that age group.
My office with Alumni Affairs is just right through that bed. I see them all the time.
Yes, and they're
through there,
Yeah.
I have a 4 and 3 year old, and we send them to a Methodist preschool down here at the beach. I'm in Great Beach, Florida, and I wish they could go outside 4 times a day.
Jen, that's Michael.
It helps me go to bed later at night.
So he was just saying you are Mr. Amos.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
Michael.
That's Michael.
And you're in Florida. Okay.
Yeah, that's right. And
yeah, I grew up in Troy, but I've been living down here for the last couple of years. But I know everything about Troy. I just didn't know where the school was. I guess Covenant Christian, when I was a kid, I guess growing up was around. You said 37 years.
It's been around a long time, and that's one reason I'm in this new position is just let the community know. Get on TV, get on the radio. We have new marketing material. I've been out in businesses. Join the chamber. I mean, just kind of like we are here. This is a wonderful school for the right family. Just kind of letting people know to kind of come check us out. So,
I mean, what is your limit for kids? I mean, do you have enough teachers?
Yeah, for the fall.
People are in classrooms?
Sure. For the fall, we'd love to be about 80, which is still small. That's probably until we're able to build on, which, is always in the plans if the Lord wills it. We always think about the future, even extended grades, things like that. COVID kind of hit us hard. Right before school started, we had about 10 families decide they would do online. They were nervous. And then the funny thing was some of them came back because they realized, wow, things are going okay. Good, we've been able to have a really, really good year. I can't say enough about our administrator, Jeff Moore. He is a former lawyer. Y'all may know Jeff just from being a lawyer in town. He's a deacon at Bush Memorial Baptist Church, and now our administrator at a Christian school. He's had a very different career change, but has done a wonderful job, has a real ministry focus. I know one of my daughter's friends, a little 5th grade boy, my daughter came home and said, Mama, my friend and Mr. Moore are best friends. Because he just, he has that kind of relationship, especially those boys. He can pull them in his office when they're having a bad day and just really, really minister to them. So I think that's what sets our school apart is the smallness, the Christian focus. We are academically challenging. Most of our kids test a year to 2 years ahead in most subjects. So I think it's academically challenging. It's the private school. We are one of the least expensive schools as well in Troy. People don't realize that too when you're trying to afford private education. It's just a great school. I would never change it. I'm so thankful. I'll go ahead and say this real quick. We're in a hard age to raise children. It's hard. Our culture's changing very, very quickly. They need to know, they need the phones, what they're reading, what they're hearing through friends, and
TV.
If you don't, media, if you don't give your kids scripture, right? If you don't give them that Christian foundation, they grow up just all over the place. And so I think now more than ever is a time to give that to your kids. And if your teacher can also reinforce what's happening at home, we've had kids pray to accept Christ in our school almost every year that happens. So I very much see this as a ministry, not just, oh, these kids are getting educated and they'll move on from here, but it is very much a ministry.
Another big ministry is the college ministry. A lot of college kids, when they get here, that's their church.
Yes, we've got a really solid group. My husband's doing a Romans Bible study on Sunday nights for college students. And we're getting them to serve. I mean, some of them are 18, but they've served on their worship team back home. I'm like, okay, you play guitar? Come on, we can use you. Another girl's serving in our children's ministry. Like, I think one thing about a small church that I think is different than a bigger church, sometimes it's easy to get to know people quickly and then have opportunities to serve. We're getting those college students involved for sure.
Cool. So as far as anybody out there that would be interested, if you have a website, phone number, or anything.
Yes, I should have had all that information. I'm so sorry.
I'll look it up.
Okay, he's going to look it up for me. Yes, we have a website and we have a phone number. You can get in touch with us. You can also go to our website and click on come for a tour and schedule a tour online. We've been giving a lot of tours. Please come for a tour. Come check us out. Come meet Mr. Moore. Come meet myself. Like, we want you to meet teachers. We want you to, come and sit in on classes with your children. Like, you won't really get kind of the full experience until you're able to come see us. Okay, Tuesday night. Thank you for saying that. March 2nd, 6:30 to 7:30, we're having an open house. And would love for anyone to come. We've been promoting that through social media, through the chamber, just all over town. And we'll have all the teachers there, the administrator, we'll have some parents to talk to, just kind of a come and go. Come talk to us, we'll give you some information and decide if this is something you want to pursue. So.
Do you offer aftercare as well?
We do offer aftercare, thank you. Till 5:15 or 5:30. We have a lot of working moms, working parents that utilize that, and it's an excellent program. They get a lot of playtime, can kind of work on homework if needed.
Is that it?
Yes.
They have a snack and so forth?
Yes, snack, all of that. So 334-566-0817 is our phone number, and then
CovenantChristianTroy.com.
CovenantChristianTroy.com is our new website, and it's excellent. It tells you all of our information. It's got our new tuition and everything on there as you guys are thinking through things. But definitely there's a come for a tour to click on that will schedule a tour for you, and then you'll get an email reminder when you're up for that. But we're just really excited. We are so grateful. It's been a wonderful year. Coming into this year with the COVID thing, as all of us know, it's been very challenging. But I think with an incredible staff, being very careful, if any kid, we do temp checks at the door, and if any kid kind of seems sick, we say, we love you, go home. And parents have been really good about that. We have had, I actually had COVID. I did fine with it, but immediately I took my kid out of school. I mean, we're going to be very, very careful. So we're just excited. The Lord has really blessed this year, and we are just so excited about the fall. I think we're going to have really, really good numbers. We're going to get some new families.
What are your numbers right now? It'll surprise you.
Sure. Man, I think we were 70.
I'm talking about from kindergarten on.
Sure. We're about 55 probably. We're smaller right now, but even with that, we've had a great year.
At your peak, though, before the virus.
I would say we were 65, 70 last year, and then I think we could go up to 80. We are. To be honest, we believe the Lord is going to bless this fall. We have worked hard to get the word out. We have had a lot of interest. We've gotten a lot of these Kimber families coming. Yeah. Kimber has been a wonderful thing, I think, for our community. We just got a new Kimber family, a little first grade boy that's coming. I'm going out to all these businesses with information about us so they can share with new families coming in. We're doing all we can because we do believe that this is a wonderful school. And people just, like you said, you grew up here and you didn't know a whole lot about it.
In fact, people that don't realize this, the Kimber group is moving their whole operations.
I heard, I talked to
from from New York, I believe, to Alabama.
From
to
New
Troy.
York.
And it's really interesting because we have this great website. People can go on there and write in where they're from and ask for information. I mean, in the last week, I think we got one from Oklahoma, one from New Hampshire. I mean, all these families, like, we are moving to Troy. And they might be coming due to the university, obviously. Mm-hmm. But I do think that someone told me the other day that Kimber is closing 3 plants in New York, and they're all coming here. So
I think their headquarters is transferring to Troy.
It's awesome. I think
they probably thought they were going to Troy, New York. But they're going to
Well, I have a 14-year-old that loves to shop, and she is watching that TJ Maxx and that Hobby Lobby. Like, when's it gonna happen, Mama? When's it gonna happen? I'm like, soon. It's gonna happen soon. So.
Well, that is great.
So the life of a preacher's wife. I imagine y'all traveled and lived a lot of different places. You said you all moved from Jackson, Mississippi. Where were y'all before that?
Well, I'm originally from Knoxville, Tennessee. My husband's from Beaumont, Texas. We both landed at a seminary. It's called RTS Seminary in Jackson. I have a master's in marriage and family therapy, so kind of like a master's in counseling. Met my husband there. He has a master's of divinity. You know, when you go to seminary in a state like Mississippi or Alabama, you usually get connections in that state.
What's the college in Beaumont?
Lamar University.
Lamar University was a great university.
It is a good school. My husband is a UT graduate, and I'm a UT graduate. He's University of Texas, and I'm University of Tennessee. So
both orange, kind of.
We always fight about what's the real school.
At the University of Texas.
And we orange here at Troy.
And so, what were you asking me? My goodness.
Where y'all been?
Yes, Mississippi. Yeah, he pastored. So when we went to seminary in Jackson, the connections we got were small towns in Mississippi. So we ended up in Philadelphia, Mississippi, was our first one. Then we were in a real small town outside of Jackson called Learned, Mississippi. That was more like a kind of a country church. And then we were in McGee, Mississippi. McGee was about 5,000. And then we're so grateful to be here. I grew up in Knoxville, in a college town, a bigger city, but very much a college city. I love college students. I love what a university brings. So when this opportunity came up, we didn't know a lot about Troy, but the first time we visited, we just were like, this is it. This is where we need to be. And
Calhoun's barbecue compared to Hook's barbecue.
Oh, man, you know Calhoun's. Wow.
Everybody knows Calhoun's.
I like Hook's, though. I'm a big Hook's fan. I haven't had, Hook's, I'm assuming, has ribs, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's
really good ribs.
I really need to, let me have the ribs, and then I'll have to compare, because I do love Calhoun's barbecue ribs.
To me, the ribs is what we're talking about. Isn't that right, Mike?
The ribs are in my top 5 at Hooks. Yeah, they're great.
Hooks is good.
So you've spent time in Knoxville, it sounds like.
Well, I've been to I've been to some games, and then of course, there's even Calhoun's in Gatlinburg.
Okay.
You're surrounded by Alabama fans.
Oh, y'all are all Alabama.
Yes.
Well, we're Troy
fans too.
Troy first, but Alabama, we go to a lot of Alabama games too.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to plead the fifth on who I like. I'm going to plead the fifth on Alabama versus Auburn here, knowing my crowd. So.
Again, we are Troy.
Yes.
We'll be back to more of Today in LA right here. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you very much. Y'all are wonderful. I appreciate it.
A personal touch, a high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
Hi, Sandy. I'm right here. Come on in.
Baby, I'm right here. Hello, Miss Mary. I'm right here. I'm right here.
Since 1969, we've been right here because at Troy Regional Medical Center, we take these words to heart.
I'm right here.
Thank you. Remarkable people. Remarkable care.
Trojan Auto Parts of Troy, home of Napa Know-How. Stop by and see owners Mike and Melissa Kilcrease and their Napa Know-How team with over 100 years of combined experience. We're the only locally owned parts store in Pike County, and we're fully stocked and ready to serve you. We pride ourselves on being your go-to parts store, not only for the simple items, but we specialize in those hard-to-find items as well. Trojan Auto Parts, the right part at the right price at the right time. Napa, a name you've trusted here in Troy since 1945.
Troy Cable Security Wi-Fi doorbell camera allows you to answer the door from your smartphone when you are at home, at work, or on the go. When a visitor presses the button, Troy Cable Security sends a live video feed to your smartphone so you can see, hear, and speak to the person at your door. With the doorbell camera, you can have your porch light turn on automatically when it detects motion at night to create the appearance that someone is at home. You can view video clips so you can always know who stopped by when you are out. Troy Cable Security. You love them, protect them.
Back to our show, brought to you by our great friends at the Withington Group. Remember, you're in good hands with Allstate. See Perry Green at the Withington Group right here in Troy. And also our outstanding hospital, Troy Regional Medical Center, located on the bypass. Troy, Alabama has a wonderful hospital, and we appreciate them very much. Hooks Barbecue. Hey, does it fall off the bone, Mike, at Hooks?
Yeah, I mean, their ribs are always fall off the bone. They're wonderful. Probably be getting some in a couple weeks. I think I'm going to be driving through Troy.
Oh, you will be. You'll just be driving through. You won't stop and see your mom and daddy?
Yeah, I might stop and see y'all. I mean, y'all are down 20 miles from me for about 3 or 4 nights. Y'all didn't come see me.
Hey, call me when you come to Troy. Give me a couple of days heads up, and I'm going to send you back with a pie, and you can just bring my skillet back later.
Forrest, I got bad news. I'm going to take you up on that soon, but I'm on a strict diet. I got a bet going to lose a lot of weight with a friend of mine, and I'm taking it pretty serious right now.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, let me know when you come off your diet. when you win the bet.
Oh boy.
Yeah, he he challenged me, and it's been going on for about 10 days. So far, so good.
Good.
Oh, okay. That's great.
All right. Well, keep up the good work.
Need to mention Tiger Woods. Of course, that was worldwide news yesterday. I was watching the coverage on the Golf Channel and breaking into other channels throughout the day. But Tiger Woods had a horrible car accident in California yesterday in Los Angeles. His car basically went down a cliff.
When he didn't get killed?
I mean, the car was totaled. I mean, if anybody saw the damage, you're amazed anybody survived it. Tiger Woods has multiple open fractures to his lower right leg. He had a rod placed in his tibia and screws and pins inserted in his foot and ankle during the surgery, the doctor said at the Harbor UCLA Medical Center Tuesday night. So Tiger's a legend. Of course, he's had a lot of off-the-course stuff that has happened in his life, and he's had some vehicle accidents and some stuff in the past, but we're hoping and praying for the best. Some guys out there are famous and people idolize, and he's definitely got to be in that top 2 or 3 people in the world.
He really
everybody knows who Tiger Woods is.
No question about it.
I think this is his ninth surgery. His 9th surgery overall. He's had back surgeries about 4 or 5 times, and a knee surgery earlier.
All right, we're talking about his right leg.
It looks like it's both legs are injured.
Oh boy!
But I think the right one's the most critical.
I tell you what, he's done some miraculous things over the years to come back after injury, but this right here could do it for him.
He already has such horrible back injuries as well. I don't know how you can recover for something like this.
If anybody can do it, he can do it. Let's say that he's
45 right now, so you would have to think this is probably 2 or 3 years to even recover, maybe.
Yeah, I know it. Well, it's sad. There's no question about it, and it had hit the golf world hard. And you take away a guy like Tiger for just being in the major, playing in the majors alone. Will have a damper to those events because.
Well, I know you and Forrest Lee have been around a lot of coaches in your life, and Quinn Hambright just had his first interview on Troy Cable and to the public. What's y'all's opinion on Quinn Hambright? I was impressed.
Electricity, vision, focus. I think he's a wonderful choice. I mean, I'm very impressed with his demeanor and his umph.
I was too, and yeah, I think he's going to do the right things. And you know, the key is believing in what he's doing, and these kids believing in what he's doing, and he's able to get the players out. You know, that has a lot to do with it.
He's also going to get the players to stay. I asked him that question. I don't know if he realized what I was trying to ask him. You know, about all the kids that transferred out. You know, to other schools.
Let me ask you this, as far as
well.
Let me ask, as far as this, Mike. About how many were they? All seniors that transferred?
No, sir. No, sir. I think there might be 2 or 3 underclassmen.
Okay.
You know.
So they'll either have to go back and get more players.
If they re-enroll to Charles Henderson, they should be eligible.
All right, good.
I believe. I'm not real sure, but who knows about that. But I think he's excited with what he's seen on both campuses of Charles Henderson Middle School and the high school, and he says he believes in those kids and he believes in himself. And
of course,
he's real excited.
Exactly, and you know, you build that program back, and you know, everything wasn't broken. I mean, you know, Charles Henderson, a great traditional school, had a tremendous fan support and so forth at one time, and you know that we got to get that back too.
There's a lot of things you've got to do. It's like you're getting a brand new fresh set of fresh water.
That's right.
Fertilizer, things are there to grow, and I think it's going to be a beautiful forest, for lack of a better word. I mean, I think the sky's the limit. You know what I'm saying?
I heard him say one thing. Correct me if I'm wrong. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I heard him say 8 years.
No, they're 8 years removed from being in it. Yeah, 8 years away.
Okay,
he said we're close.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, he says you did it just 8 years ago.
That's right. Yeah.
He said, in other words,
was it 8 years ago?
Something like that.
No, it was
2014, maybe 7.
Yeah.
Probably
that many seasons. McCoy's been here 6 or 7 years.
McCoy was there 7 years.
7 years. So
okay, I got you.
8 years ago, they were at the mountaintop, almost
played for the championship.
Played for it. So, you know,
he can't do it all though. He's got to really bring in a strong coaching staff. That's huge for him. He's going to have to get some guys to help him.
Exactly.
You know, with that staff, and another thing that you mentioned, Michael, if he could conduct a football camp with those guys that he has connections with, you talk about kids going to show up.
That's right.
I mean, that's like bringing in.
Well, let me just say this. Players win games. And, you know, you can talk about coaching and all you want, but players win games. And surely they'll find that quarterback. I hate to say that, but but at the same time, if they've got a good athletic quarterback, they got a chance.
Well, and his first thing that he mentioned, he's got to have the house daddies.
That's right.
The big boys up front on both sides of the ball. You've got to have those men to win at any level, and that was his first.
And the thing about it, talking about McCoy, I would have hated to have been in the situation with him losing the players he lost last year.
Sure.
I mean, it didn't give him much of a chance. So, you know,
they lost 3 or 4 starting linemen who were stud buckets.
Yeah, I mean, you go into major college.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to look though. I mean, they were 3-7 and 4-6.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then they finished last year 1-9. It wasn't like those guys were winning at Charles Henderson for him.
Yeah. But his focus will be with what he has now, and he'll go from the 6th grade, whoever's in the 6th grade right now, in the 11th grade, that is his focus. And I'm sure he's going to try to help some of the seniors that are at Charles Henderson maybe land somewhere. But he wants to develop those younger players to make sure whoever that coach is at the middle school follows his philosophy. So where they're excited to play at the middle school level and get the numbers out and have a quality program with teamwork.
Make it fun.
Yeah, make it fun, and then it will transition over. Yeah. And I bet you the kids who are there as juniors and below, they're excited for this football season.
All right, we're going off the air, but I would like to congratulate Mark Smart winning that big game last night, Mike. They won a mid-week game, 10-3 over our arch rival UAB.
UAB, that's right.
Yeah, that's always good. That's always good to beat UAB. I was really happy when I saw that score because UAB's had Troy's number over the years.
All right, we're going off the air. We'll see you tomorrow, bright and early, for Today in LA.
We'll replay at 1:30.